आई नो आप वीडियो का टाइटल पढ़ के बोल रहे होगे ए आयरन इज मेकिंग अ वीडियो ऑन दैट फनी ब्रोकन ग्लिची गेम। ये स्टेटमेंट पे मैं ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं करता था इफ द ईयर वाज 2020 बैक व्हेन साइबरपंक वाज रिलीज्ड इन इट्स अनफिनिश्ड ब्रोकन स्टेट, बट इट्स द ईयर 2025 एंड साइबरपंक में अब कोई ग्लिचेस नहीं है। द गेम इज एंटायरली फिक्स्ड। ओके मे बी एक दो माइनर बग्स हैं। अगर मुझे साइबरपंक की रिडेम्पशन आर्क एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल के साथ एक्सप्लेन करनी पड़ी तो यू रिमेंबर दैट वन किड फ्रॉम स्कूल हु वाज शाय एंड नर्डी, हैड नो कॉन्फिडेंस बिकॉज सब उसका मजाक उड़ाते थे। लेट्स से उसका नाम बंटी है। लाइक बंटी स्कूल आए या ना आए आपको उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। ओवरऑल बंटी इज लाइक अ वेरी फॉरगेटफुल स्टूडेंट हु नोबडी रिमेंबर्स। एंड नाउ कट टू फ्यू years later, maybe in college or post college, you run into Bunty again or you check out his social media profile and Bunty now has entirely changed. He has this extroverted personality and then you realize that he's kind of good looking as well, has this pretty girlfriend or wife, और आप ये सब देख के बोलते हो ये कब हुआ, ये तो मैंने एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं किया था। बंटी का साबुन was no longer slow. So जो बंटी की आर्क है is exactly like Cyberpunk's redemption arc. People made a lot of fun of this game when it was released back in 2020 and then later kind of forgot about it, and then cut to later Phantom Liberty gets announced and people realize wait, this game is actually pretty good and I am here to fanboy over this game. Also to hopefully convince you to play this game, even though मुझे पता है आधे से ज़्यादा लोगों के पास उतना strong system है नहीं ये गेम खेलने का। So Cyberpunk is a aspirational game for many of gamers out there and I am here to tell you आपकी जितनी भी expectation है ना Cyberpunk से, I'm pretty sure it is not only going to meet your expectation but surpass them. That's how good this game is. Alright then chooms, fire up your 1650s, quite literally, because we are talking about Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk has been developed by CDPR or CD Projekt Red, who are also responsible for developing the fan favorite, and I mean the absolute fan favorite, dating sim and card game, Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open world action adventure RPG game set in the beautiful Night City. And I know, जिससे पहले आप कुछ बोलो, yes, this is one of the most prettiest games you will ever play. You play this game as V, who is a freelance merc or a mercenary. Game शुरू ही होता है with you customizing V's appearance, and I have to say, the character creator, the character customization of Cyberpunk 2077 is very in-depth. You can customize everything. So after you're done spending an hour deciding which eye color should V have, you need to decide V's life path or backstory, whether that is street kid, nomad, or corpo. I personally recommend the Corpo path because it fits in really well with the game's narrative, but feel free to choose whatever you want. Depending on जो भी life path आप choose करते हो, the only major difference is in the first hour of the game, and that's really it. After the introductory part of the game is done, you are introduced to your best friend and partner in crime. Roman to your Nico, Karan to your Arjun, Arthur to your John, Jackie Wells. And you can't really help but love Jackie. Jackie is this charismatic, funny guy with a heart of gold who's willing to do anything for you. You know, like ekdam proper best friend hai wo. And if that wasn't enough, he's dating a girl who believes in astrology and card reading. So Jackie is really taking one for the team there. Jackie and V both are driven by ambition and vanity. They both wish to become Night City legends and leave their mark on the history books. They constantly take work that puts their lives in danger, all because they are driven by a want to be someone in the streets of Night City. लेकिन मुझे पता है जिससे पहले मैं characters को explain करके आपको bore कर दूं, let's talk about something that सबको interesting लगेगा, the gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077. And why not start with one of my favorite aspects, the combat of Cyberpunk 2077. तो अब आप पूछोगे ए लूजर आर्सेनल फैन कैसा है इस गेम का combat? And I have 2 words for you. बहुत hard. The amount of love and care the devs have shown towards developing the combat of this game is beautiful. I am pretty sure devs का एक गोल जरूर था while developing the combat of this game. वो है letting players turn V into a killing machine. इतने सारे weapons और perks players के लिए available होते हैं that no way you will be able to experience all the aspects of the combat in one playthrough. The melee weapons like hammers, katanas, chainswords, machetes are so satisfying to use because the gore of this game is fucking insane. अगर आप shotgun use करते हो enemy के मुंह पे they fucking explode. You can shoot a grenade mid-air. It is fun to one tap enemies with a pistol or a revolver and watching their heads disappear. आप इस गेम में इतने सारे builds ट्राई कर सकते हो ना. In my 3 playthroughs, मेरे first playthrough में I did a Sunny Deol build which is just using gorilla arms to beat the shit out of people. कोई बंदूक की जरूरत नहीं है जब ये 2.5 किलो का हाथ है. The gorilla arms is one of my favorite cyberware. It is fun to pick somebody up and throw them on enemies. ये ले कैच पकड़. Second build that I tried was this shotgun samurai build, just dashing around the map and using katana to chop people up and exploding their bodies with shotguns. It is very satisfying. और मेरा तीसरा build was this netrunner ninja build, just hacking around and throwing knives. और मुझे कहना पड़ेगा हैकिंग या नेट रनिंग इन साइबरपंक 2077 इज वेरी सेटिस्फाइंग. अगर आपको वॉच डॉग्स बहुत पसंद है और डू यू लाइक गेम्स विच हैव अ स्ट्रॉन्ग हैकिंग एलिमेंट इन्वॉल्व्ड इन देम, आई डोंट सी अ रीजन व्हाई यू शुडंट ट्राई साइबरपंक बिकॉज द हैकिंग इन साइबरपंक very fucking fun. Tech weapons, mantis blades, monowires, projectile launches, there are so many builds जो आप try कर सकते हो. You can look them up on YouTube as well. इसीलिए मैं कह रहा था one playthrough of Cyberpunk will never be enough. So the replayability value of this game is very high. Another core aspect of the game is cyberware. If I have to explain it simply, think of it as another upgrade system apart from the perk tree. Cyberware is a major contributor to help players gain that feeling of being a killing machine. You can get implants on V, or as the game likes to call it, chrome out, from Ripper Docs, which are available all across the map. Implants like super jump, double jump, mantis blade, monovires, projectile launchers, and so much more. And I highly recommend that you get super jump or double jump as soon as you can because it really changes the way you interact with the map of Cyberpunk 2077. लेकिन अगर मुझे कुछ निट पिक करना हो या मुझे थोड़ा सा क्रिटिसिज्म देना हो इस गेम के कॉम्बैट के बारे में, इट्स दैट यूजिंग LMGs और ARs और SMGs isn't really that satisfying. At least that's what I think. जितना मजा एक पिस्टल या शॉटगन या कटाना या गोरिल्ला आर्म्स यूज करने में, उतना मुझे कभी AR या LMGs यूज करने में नहीं आया. अगर आपने गेम खेला है, do let me know what you think, but I really found them very underwhelming. Secondly, the stealth system of this game is as good as Sekiro's stealth system, so not good. Or maybe my bar for stealth games is set pretty high after playing these games. But it's fun to see once you play Metal Gear, आप देखते हो कि Metal Gear का कितना influence है दूसरे games पे. Really interesting stuff to look at. अब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि Cyberpunk का stealth segment sucks. Stealth isn't that great, but it's not that bad either. It's pretty, it's an enjoyable experience once or twice, and then it gets kind of repetitive and boring. I never found myself enjoying stealth, let's say that. अब आप ये गेम प्ले देख के बोल रहे हो कि आर्यन ये सारी फुटेज फर्स्ट पर्सन में क्यों है, थर्ड पर्सन में क्यों नहीं स्विच कर सकते, लाइक माई फेवरेट गेम्स GTA and Dawn 2 the game? Well, because नहीं, but I genuinely love the fact that ये game first person है. It really helps increase your immersion in the world of Night City. The transition between gameplay and cutscene is seamless, so it never feels like the game is stopping to help the story move forward. And plus, there are practically no loading screen, so your immersion does not break at all, unlike other games. फिर भी Skyrim 6 तो मैं भी खेलूंगा. You can draw many parallels between the gameplay loop of Cyberpunk and GTA, but कुछ aspects में Cyberpunk 2077 is far ahead of GTA. Listen, I like driving around in GTA as much as the next guy, but the experience of driving around NC is unparalleled. You can spend hours just driving around the streets of Night City, taking in the scenes, exploring the different parts of the city. This is the first time I've had fun exploring the world of a CD Projekt game, all thanks to the fact कि इस game में रोच नहीं. Oh, what the fuck is that? Like, the exploration of a game is really good if it passes the fast travel test. The fast travel test essentially is when a player gets a mission objective which is very far. आप rather than using the fast travel feature of the game बोलते हो मैं ड्राइव करके जाऊंगा. Unfortunately, Cyberpunk में उतनी vehicle variety है नहीं, and plus there is no customization options available either. Yep, there is no Los Santos customs in Night City, guys. Sorry. They only recently added the feature to change the color of your vehicle, but hey, at least it looks cool. Of course, अब Cyberpunk में बहुत सारे elements हैं जो GTA से relatable लगेंगे, like buying houses all over the map, NPCs saying wild stuff.
How are you able to seduce the world's most expensive model?
I did not seduce her. I kidnapped her.
Clothing, which is an integral part of Night City, and it is much more in depth for female V than male V. So if you're one of those people who enjoy clothing content on Instagram, make sure you pick female V, and then you can make infinite amounts of get readies with me. And if you do enjoy clothing and fashion content on Instagram, please send help my way. I still dress like it's the year 2010, jeans and t-shirt. That's my go out outfit. मैंने अभी तक वो oversized t-shirt and baggy jeans वाला fashion adopt नहीं किया है, so my DMs are open. Please help. Then this game also has the feature of
Need a driver for street race.
that's it, game बंद करो. Just like GTA, you can go on a crazy rampage on the NPCs, लेकिन फिर आप पे पुलिस लग जाती है. Now the police in Cyberpunk 2077 NCPD, they kinda suck, and there is a good story reason behind it जो मैं आगे explain करूँगा. जब GTA में full stars लग जाते हैं तब max to max क्या आती है? Military आती है जो ज़्यादा कुछ आपका उखाड़ नहीं पाती. They can't really do shit. Yeah, Cyberpunk में ऐसा नहीं है. If you get 5 stars in Cyberpunk, Max Stack comes to greet you. And when Max Stack comes, you'll catch yourself recreating the William Dafoe meme. गेम के टिप्स में लिख के आता है इफ दे कॉल मैक्स टैक देर ऑल स्क्रूड. बट आई लव व्हाट इज implied when you get 5 stars in Cyberpunk. It implies that V has gone cyber psycho and now the NCPD can't deal with him and Max Stack needs to come to solve the situation, and the female V's cyber psycho laugh is menacing. And just like GTA, this game also has its own several radio stations. Now, the songs aren't as iconic as the radio stations in GTA, but the music of Cyberpunk is amazing. I am a sucker for the action genre having electric music, probably because of John Wick, and Cyberpunk ka 95% music is electric music. There is more than 7.5 hours of musical scores recorded for this game. But I have to say, P.T. Adamczyk's composition is phenomenal. But I know hearing is believing, so here is the music in a segment where you're assaulting a tower. And now here's the music when you're escaping a stadium.
You need to move, quick.
And I feel like the music is a big reason why people don't opt to play this game in a stealthy fashion, because why would you play stealth when this game's combat music sounds like this? Now since V is a freelance merc, most of the story works through gigs. एक चीज जो मुझे बहुत पसंद है इस गेम के क्वेस्ट्स के बारे में इज दैट ऑलमोस्ट ऑल ऑफ देम और मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम आर नेम्ड आफ्टर पॉपुलर सॉन्ग्स. ड्रीम ऑन, हीरोज, पिरामिड सॉन्ग, एवरी ब्रेथ यू टेक एंड सो मेनी मोर. जब मैं ये वीडियो बनाने के लिए ये गेम खेल रहा था और वाज रिसर्चिंग स्टफ ऑनलाइन, वन मेजर थिंग दैट आई लर्नड वाज दैट डू नॉट प्ले Cyberpunk 2077 missions or quests like how you play them in a Rockstar game. Rockstar games में the missions are very restrictive. You are supposed to do what the game tells you to do, and you do something wrong, the mission will fail. Gigs in Cyberpunk 2077 are nothing like that. There is some level of creative freedom provided to the players, and oftentimes आपकी creativity and willingness to experiment is rewarded as well. So if you play this game, make sure you try to think sometimes out of the box and be creative with it, because you don't know how the game will reward you for it. Alright, अब let's come back and talk about the story and characters of this game. Unfortunately, the story of Cyberpunk is a depressing one. आई थिंक आप साइबरपंक को परफेक्टली डिस्क्राइब कर सकते हो वो पेंगुइन मीम के साथ. जब गेम प्ले चल रहा है तब बहुत मजा आ रहा है. स्विच टू द गेम्स नैरेटिव एंड इट्स जस्ट सैड. Remember Karan and Arjun, V and Jackie, and how they both are ambitious, want recognition, and want to become Night City legends? Well, both of them are given that opportunity through Mark Henry, who gives them the job of pulling off an heist at Arasaka's Konpeki Plaza. Arasaka is essentially the Geo of Cyberpunk 2077. They own and run everything in Night City. But lucky for us, Arasaka does not ruin the logo of Hotstar. कोई तो fix कर दो इसे please. The first act of the game revolves around prepping up for this big heist, a heist that will propel V and Jackie to legendary status in Night City. एंड जब हाइस्ट एग्जीक्यूट करने का टाइम आता है तब आप रियलाइज करते हो कि वी एंड जैकी ने डॉन एंड डॉन 2 तो देखी ही नहीं है. सो द हाइस्ट गोज कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग. नथिंग गोज अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्लान. योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड, योर पार्टनर इन क्राइम, योर आर्थर मॉर्गन dies, and then you meet Mark Henry, who is obviously pissed off, and in order to protect himself he shoots V in the face. Boom. And title card shot. Yeah, pretty cool, hai na? But V does not die because he is Tommy from The Last of Us Part 2. And then you are introduced to the legend himself.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
That is Keanu Reeves, the guy who plays John Wick or Baba Yaga. Just like in Ravan or Dawn 2 the game, SRK game में properly है. He is the main character. सिर्फ कोई cameo appearance नहीं है. Similarly, Keanu Reeves is almost the main character of Cyberpunk 2077. The reason why मैं almost बोल रहा हूँ because after you get shot in the head due to the events that took place during the heist, Keanu Reeves' soul or construct is inside your head. I don't know man, बिना spoiler दिए ये explain करना बहुत मुश्किल है. I am really trying here. अच्छा, let's look at it this way. There is one body which belongs to V, but inside the body of V there are two souls. One of his own and another of Johnny Silverhand or Keanu Reeves. Hey, listen, I wouldn't complain Keanu Reeves being inside me, but the construct of Johnny Silverhand being inside V is literally killing me. So V, who wanted to become a Night City legend, has her entire world turned upside down. अब V only cares about survival and trying to find a solution for his problem, a problem which will probably kill him in a few weeks. तो अगर आप एकदम zoom out करके इस गेम का plot देखोगे from V's perspective, it's a story about survival. But according to me, technically there is another main character, that is Johnny Silverhand. अब जॉनी का कैरेक्टर बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. ही टेक्निकली हैज दैट नाइट सिटी लेजेंड स्टेटस टू हिम, बट नॉट सो मच ऑफ अ लेजेंड एज मच ऑफ अ टेररिस्ट. You see, Johnny Silverhand, back in the year 2023, he nuked the Arasaka tower, killing thousands of people in the process, just because Geo ने अपना recharge rate बढ़ा दिया था. Also, I should say, during his terrorist act, he does get captured by Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher, a scary fucking guy who is an actual Night City legend on behalf of Arasaka. And now Arasaka kills him, but technically does not kill him. I don't know, मैं spoiler नहीं दे रहा. Don't worry, just follow along with what I'm saying. जब आप game खेलोगे समझ जाओगे. So the game also tells Johnny's side of the story. Why did he bomb the Arasaka tower? Also covering his story as a rocker boy for a band called Samurai. Covering his relationship with his friends like Kerry Eurodyne, Rogue, and also covering his relationship with foes like Adam Smasher. It's really interesting. मुझे Johnny का character बहुत interesting लगता है. He starts off as this cocky asshole guy. I mean, वो game के literally start में he asks you to end yourself. But as the game keeps on progressing, you see his soft side, his passion for music. And since आप ये game के सारे events Johnny के साथ experience करते हो, you also see his paranoid side, his naive side. Johnny really hates corporations, और वो evidently दिखता भी है. Not through his terrorist act, but through his iconic monologue about corporates.
Okay, I'll tell you why I want to destroy Arasaka, but I'll only tell you once. Want to hear it?
All right.
I saw a corpse strip farmers of water and eventually of land. Saw them transform Night City into a machine fueled by people's crushed spirits, broken dreams, and emptied pockets. V, I've declared war not because capitalism's a thorn in my side or out of nostalgia for an America gone by. This war's
Johnny,
a people's
take a
war
sec, you
against
got
a
it?
system that spiraled out of our control. It's a war against the fucking forces of entropy. Understand?
Johnny.
Do whatever it takes to stop them, defeat them, gut them. If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it.
Keanu Reeves' की performance as Johnny Silverhand is crazy good. Now, of course, your relationship with Johnny is entirely in your hands, but I'm pretty sure सबका relationship Johnny के साथ अच्छा ही होगा, because are you really going to be mean to Keanu Reeves, the most breathtaking man?
Hey, but let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking.
V and Johnny are the main characters of the game, but there are a lot of cool side characters too. Characters like Victor, who is V's trusted Ripper dog, Misty, Jackie's girlfriend, Saul Goodman, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Kerry Eurodyne, River, and of course, Hideyoshi Oshima.
Hey.
僕の作品知ってるの？
Then there are fixers. Fixers are those who assign you the mission in these games. Fixers like the old lady from Up, the big boss, and that one guy I saw in Mumbai local once. और मैं आपको अभी कह देता हूँ, do as many side quests as you can in this game. Don't be like me. I made the huge mistake of rushing through the main story of the game or the main quest of the game, and I missed out on a lot of side content because the main quest of the game is quite small. But what really makes this game and helps you fall in love with it are the side gigs or the side quests. There is a Patriot side quest from Metal Gear Solid. There is a quest जिसमें the game enters full David Fincher mode as you hunt down the victims of a serial killer. मैं सही में कह रहा हूँ, do not miss out on this game's side content. Don't be an idiot like me. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and I know everybody is going to find this part very interesting because I'm going to be talking about the romanceable characters in Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt is known for being pretty out there with romance in their video games. And I know that was one of the major reasons why people played Witcher 3. Don't lie, सब जानता हूँ मैं. But the romance in Witcher 3 मुझे उतना पसंद नहीं है because Geralt is the biggest fanboy of Yen. If Yen would have asked Geralt to kill everyone at Kaer Morhen, he probably would have done it. The romance arcs of Witcher 3 don't have much substance to them, so I wasn't really enjoying them. But the romance in Cyberpunk games, pretty good. Now there are plenty of romanceable characters in this game, and all of them feel well built, intimate, and important for characters' development. They aren't there just as a fan service, which I feel like Witcher 3 was pushing very hard on. अब हो सकता है I am wrong about the romance in Witcher 3, and for me to understand it much more I need to play the other two games and read the books, which I am not willing to do. I do not wish to learn the context of why Geralt and Yennefer did it on a unicorn, but hey, I'm not complaining. Now, since I am talking about romance and cyberpunk, there is this one beautiful thing on Netflix which people love. Even the people जिन्होंने cyberpunk नहीं खेला है, even they love this thing. And of course, I'm talking about Love Story 2050 starring Priyanka Chopra. Cyberpunk has a lot of endings depending on the choices you make. मुझे याद है मेरे first playthrough में I found the story so heavy and sad that I ended up taking the worst ending possible out of the 7 endings that are there. और जब आप इस गेम की स्टोरी में प्रोग्रेस करते हो ना, you also face many difficult choices which will make you stop playing and consider your options and then pick an option.
Nonsense. After a day as full as today, you deserve to kick back. Oh? And what did you have in mind?
अभी तक मैं इस गेम के नैरेटिव एंड कैरेक्टर्स के बारे में बात कर रहा था अबाउट हाउ वी एंड जॉनी सिल्वरहैंड आर द मेन कैरेक्टर्स ऑफ द गेम. बट व्हाट इफ आई टेल यू देयर इज अनदर मेन कैरेक्टर, एंड इफ नॉट द मेन कैरेक्टर, जो आपके साथ रहता है फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट ऑफ द गेम एंड स्टेज विद यू टिल द गेम एंड्स, एंड दैट इज नाइट सिटी. और मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा व्हेन आई से दैट मेरा फेवरेट पार्ट ऑफ दिस गेम is Night City. The way Night City pulled me into its world, I feel like the Lands Between is the only other world that comes close to it. The reason मैं कह रहा हूँ Night City is another main character and if not the main character, because आप जितने भी इस गेम खेलते टाइम जितने भी कैरेक्टर से बात करोगे, and not only side characters but the main characters too, they share a deep relationship with this city. There are times when they absolutely hate it, and then there are times when they can't get enough of the beauty it has to offer.
Christ, finally.
Look, get far enough from the smell, even Night City can be beautiful.
अब हो सकता है मैं ये सारी चीज़ें अपने बायस से बोल रहा हूँ because I really love the cyberpunk genre. Like जब भी गेम में वेदर डस्की ऑरेंज होता था ना, I catch myself saying, "Oh, Blade Runner 2049, literally me like a 12-year-old." The sheer scale and the sense of verticality of this game, and to keep it maintained across such a huge map is crazy. You will never get tired of Night City. और अभी कुछ recent updates में they added the feature for you to ride the metro. So just kick back and take in the beauty this game has to offer. Now, of course, the bright and beautiful lights of this city hide the dark and harsh reality of the city. Night City is filled with crime, corruption, gang wars, and kids looking like adults for some reason. Night City is a corpocracy. बहुत ही मस्त वर्ड है ना, मैंने कियानू रीव्स के एक इंटरव्यू से चोरी किया है, थैंक्स. Corpocracy मतलब the big corporate companies are the decision makers, not the government or the people. So the rich are like crazy rich and the poor are like extremely poor. So जब आप नाइट सिटी के रिच पार्ट में जाओगे, you will catch yourself saying, whoa. And then you go to the poor parts of Night City and you will catch yourself saying, oh. Most of the parts of the city are really poor, like Pacifica, Santo Domingo, Haywood, which is filled with crime and gang wars. This is why जब मैंने पहले बोला था ना that NCPD और Night City की police suck. Well, they suck because there is just so much crime that they don't really care anymore. Now since the genre is cyberpunk, तो lighting बहुत ही important component है इस genre का. And I am here to tell you the team in CDPR, whichever team worked on the lighting of this game, you guys absolutely nailed it. The lighting of cyberpunk is amazing, whether that is in the outside or in the interiors, and especially in the clubs. The clubs actually feel like clubs. Music pumping, crazy lights, no women paying attention to you, captures the going to the club experience really well. Night City shows exaggerated examples of problems जो हमारी society आज भी face करती है. Body dysmorphia, insecurities, loneliness. आपके ये गेम खेलते टाइम you will run into the most weirdest looking NPCs who are chromed out like crazy. Suggestive themes are a major part of the world. So loneliness is a huge problem in Night City, and you see people and companies trying to take advantage of that. The game talks about loneliness and toxic masculinity in such a clever manner through its side content. फिर से याद दिला रहा हूँ. Make sure you play the side content of this game. I think सबसे best example of loneliness and insecurities are the ads in Cyberpunk's world. This game is filled with ads. Our attention is the most expensive commodity we all own, and companies compete with each other every day to get it. And the ads of Cyberpunk represent that. Almost all of the ads are so distracting that you cannot help but look at them. Whether that is a suggestive ad, something disgusting, something very off-putting. एक minute. Is that Ronaldo? But the ads work, they get your attention. And मुझे पता है ये Cyberpunk की ads से किस चीज़ की याद आ गई. YouTube thumbnails. दोनों चीज़ों का objective same है, to get your attention. Whether that is by making a thumbnail that is suggestive, having something disgusting, or looking uncomfortably soulless. And as YouTube keeps growing, it will become even more ridiculous. Hopefully to not a Cyberpunk level. I am scared of what my fellow YouTubers are going to come up with just to get your attention and just to click on their video. And as YouTube keeps growing, the thumbnail game will continue to get even more ridiculous. It's almost scary and exciting, but हो सकता है मैं ये point थोड़े jealousy के angle से बोल रहा हूँ, because let's be honest, I suck at making thumbnails. But anyways, this game is filled with so many Easter eggs and tiny little details. Like एक detail जो मैंने कभी notice ही नहीं की थी कि that you can reject the offer to drink alcohol in this game every time. This was done to help people struggling with alcohol problems. Like ये tiny details कभी मेरे दिमाग में आती ही नहीं if it were not for the internet. लेकिन तुम्हें पता है मेरा फेवरेट टाइनी डिटेल क्या है इस गेम का? When Johnny helps V to use a telephone. Like that is such a cool little detail because of course V को नहीं आता होगा telephone use करना. By the time V was born, telephone was ancient history. That is such a cool little detail. I genuinely mean it when I say कि Night City might be one of the best worlds that I have ever explored, and I feel like I will never get tired of Night City. So इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ that मेरे लिए Cyberpunk का best part is its open world. Even if you aren't a fan of the combat or anything, the world itself is beautiful enough that it will pull you in and will deliver some iconic gaming moments. अब आखिरी चीज जिसके बारे में मुझे बात करनी है is Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, the expansion of Cyberpunk. Phantom Liberty is one of my favorite DLCs, right up there with Ringed City and Shadow of the Earth Tree. It almost felt like CDPR was delivering a statement with this DLC. Yes, we fucked up the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, but we still are CDPR. The opening of the DLC is insane. Like, me saying the DLC is good is an understatement.
The president! You have to... Songbird! God damn it! Shit! Fuck me! Okay. Got this. Save the president. Sure. No fucking problem.
Phantom Liberty is like one long spy thriller quest that takes place in Dogtown, which is the most meanest and the dangerous part of Night City. And for this DLC, you team up with Songbird and Solomon Reed. Solomon Reed को पहचाना? Idris Elba, Suicide Squad, Pacific Rim, American Gangster if you have a good movie taste. Dogtown is nothing like other parts of Night City. There are no corpos or gangs. It is entirely run by one man who looks like Amir Khan from Ghajini, Colonel Kurt Hansen. So Dogtown is essentially a dictatorship. You get an entirely new perk tree to make V even more stronger than before. The side quests of the games are a lot of fun. लेकिन हाँ, मुझे ये कहना पड़ेगा that Dogtown or Phantom Liberty itself will push your GPU to the limits, especially अगर आपका थोड़ा lower end GPU है. So just a heads up before you look forward to playing Phantom Liberty. और रही बात मेन क्वेस्ट और उसकी स्टोरी की, इट्स बेस्ट दैट यू गो इन ब्लाइंड बिकॉज इट गेट्स क्रेजी. एंड इफ यू थिंक आपको मेन गेम में डिफिकल्ट डिसीजंस एंड सैडनेस झेलनी पड़ी थी, वेट टिल यू प्ले दिस DLC. एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट, द क्रेडिट्स ऑफ दिस DLC हैज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट ओरिजिनल सॉन्ग्स आई हैव एवर हर्ड इन अ वीडियो गेम. सो जस्ट ट्रस्ट मी, प्ले Phantom Liberty and have a great crying session. Cyberpunk is one of my favorite games of all time, and if not probably my favorite CDPR game. I know इस गेम के रिलीज होने के टाइम there was a lot of negativity around it and deservedly so. A bad product should get a bad reception. लेकिन Cyberpunk अब बहुत अच्छे स्टेट में. सो अगर आपने पहले कंसिडर किया था खेलना, then you dropped the idea just because उसमें इतने bugs थे. I highly recommend that you give this game another chance because it offers a life-changing experience. और जिनके पास भी कोई अच्छा सिस्टम या कोई सिस्टम नहीं है Cyberpunk खेलने का, and you guys are those aspirational gamers waiting for a proper system to play Cyberpunk, I'll say go in with high expectations. और मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा, वो गेम आपकी expectations को easily surpass भी कर देगा. That's how good Cyberpunk 2077 is. So बंटी का साबुन is no longer slow.